I woke up thinking it was a normal morning and I was about to go to school, so I'd made my breakfast and my sister came out of her room and had told me that my mum had had a stroke and she was at hospital.
I woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning. Stuart heard me, my husband heard me, and I was fine then. And then I was thrashing around in bed at 5:30 in the morning and I fell out of bed. And Stuart rushed around the bed and he tried to pick me up, and he recognised the stroke immediately. So I had a facial droop. I was paralysed down the right side and I couldn't speak. And I remember him calling 000 and saying, "I think my wife is having a stroke." So I arrived at Box Hill Emergency at approximately 6 a.m. and I was diagnosed with a left middle cerebral artery ischemic stroke. It was a clot. So I was given the clot busting medication at 6:20, and then I was transferred to Royal Melbourne Hospital for clot retrieval, and the clot was retrieved at 7:35 a.m. in the morning, and then I was back on the ward approximately 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. and Stuart was sitting beside my bed. And we cried a lot that day. My parents arrived after lunch. The next hurdle was seeing my children, and we cried a lot that day.
My mum liked to joke about it now that I slept through the whole ordeal. So I slept through the paramedics coming in, my dog barking, just everything. My mum getting dragged out on a whole mat through the hallway right next to my bedroom, but I slept through the whole thing. They kept saying that I'd sleep through an earthquake after that. So I went to school, pretended everything was okay. I isolated myself from my friends. I just listened to music, didn't really talk that day. But I remember in my final period of school, my best friend was sitting next to me, Cooper, and he said to me, "Sean, something's wrong. What's happened?" And I just told him that my mum had had a stroke, and I started sobbing. So I put my head down on the table so no one would see. I just pretended I was asleep, and he patted me on the back. And he said, "Oh, sorry, and everything's gonna be okay." But after school finished, Dad picked me up from high school and took us home, and then was about to take us to hospital to see Mum. But just before we left, Cooper came with McDonald's. He bought us food for the car ride in, which was awesome. I mean, he was my best mate and he was there for me. And he got me through this, being able to see him often every weekend, just chill and not really think about high school or just school, anything really. And we got to the Royal Melbourne Hospital and my uncle was there. He was standing there outside my mum's room in my my two grandparents had driven 4 hours from Deniliquin in New South Wales, which is a country town, to come see their only daughter in hospital. It was my granddad's birthday that day, so when my dad called my grandparents, they thought it was just a normal happy birthday from us, but it was instead him telling them that their daughter was in hospital and had suffered a stroke. I remember when she was in hospital, I would just try and make her laugh, be stupid, say stupid things, just to make her smile. And that's how I am still right now, still to this day, and I will be the rest of my life, is just trying to make my mum smile. So for the next couple months after my mum's stroke, I had to deal with just high school, being in year 12, ATARs and all that. But I noticed now that then I really dropped off. I kind of just gave up on school. I mean, I couldn't really be bothered. I'd prefer to do something else. I'd go see a friend, or I'd get drunk on the weekend, but I wouldn't really do all my assignments at the last minute, and I wouldn't study for tests, so I remember failing maths. But I remember not telling anyone. I kind of just felt like it was something that something my family had to deal with, something I had to deal with, and I didn't really need or want support from too many people. I was happy getting the support from my family and from my friends, especially Cooper, but I didn't want people's opinion to change about me. I didn't want them to pity me because we were going through this. I just wanted to be treated like everything was normal. So I just didn't tell anyone really. It was just something I kept to myself.
You were more reserved, and I think you went through a shy period, so you were, and I think you felt you held your feelings in because I wasn't aware that you were struggling. So I think you were struggling, but you didn't show me that. I'm proud of you because you passed your VCE, and we didn't have to worry, Stuart and I didn't have to worry that you'd skip school or that. So you went to school the whole way through, and you went to work, and I'm very proud of you because you just kept on doing what you had to do.
How I feel now about my mum's stroke, I think it's become a normal really, how my mum is now. I definitely think I've become more compassionate with her. I always ask how her day was, or I try to ask how her day was every day. I try to always help her. I'm always trying to make her laugh. I usually make fun of her and her stroke. I try and make light of the situation because it's a very serious situation, but I don't think I could have been able to deal with my mum almost dying in a very serious way. If I dealt with this in a serious way, I would probably lose a bit of myself. I know I would have definitely found it harder to get back to a normal state for me, and I think finding a way to make my mum smile really helped me change my perception of how everything was going to be. If my mum was smiling, I knew everything was okay. But now I think it seems pretty normal. It's hard to think about what normal was before when I've become so used to what it is like now. I know my mum's stroke has brought our family and my entire family together and made us stronger. But I think I am now in a better place. I know I'm in a better place than I was before.
I think you're more loving now and more resilient.
And I know every single day I see her go to work, come home, do the things she loves. It brings me a lot of joy. She makes every day worth seeing through. I do truly love my mum and my entire family.